Živijo, jaz sem Boštjan Abar in to je podcast podrobnosti, 60. epizoda podcasta Anže Tomič, What's up?
Jo, a že spet smo na temo.
To se traži. Zdaj je year of the hip-hop.
A je, ne vem, stvar ne sledim.
Nisi to Drake, pa to.
Started from the bottom, now we're here, kaj že.
Je, to je to. A vidiš, imamo novo intro muziko, moramo noter, evo.
Ja, predvsem Drake.
Zdaj, ko mi si rekel, Anže, štarti zadevo, ima, da vržeš Drakea noter.
Ne bom, to zih bo treba avtorske pravice plačati, tako da ni šans.
On se ne bi kaj sekiral, po mojem, če eni Slovenci dajo njegovo muziko. Ampak ok.
Kol ne veš, stari.
Kol ne veš. Glavno, ja, drugače situacija dogaja, vse cool.
Ja, v redu, ja. Danes si mi že spet tontal z stopinjami v Španiji. Hvala.
Ja.
Ful, hvala. Koliko je bilo razlike? 14 stopinj je bilo razlike.
14 stopinj razlike.
Vseeno, glavnem, nekaj drugega povem.
To bo sam raslo, ta razlika bo sam rasla.
Se vem, to je največja depra, res.
Ja.
Klej si začel žile rezati, da barve videl, ki je sivina taka, da je noro, tako da groza.
Boš mogel kaj leteti, le?
Ja, slejko prej.
Izvoli, no dej, admin, da damo.
Ja, podrobnosti so na aparatus.si, dajte nam kakšno oceno v iTunesih, kjer smo tudi, imajo tudi svoj Twitter account, ki ga fura nesužen strokovnjak, to najdete na aparatus.si, na Twitterju, cel aparatus je tudi na Facebooku, lahko nas pa tudi podprete, to res ful prav pride, tako da ful hvala vsem, ki ste to naredili, pa unim, ki to še boste, to pa naredite tako, da greste na aparatus.si/podpri oziroma na /salca, tako da res ful. Hvala in mislim, da je to cel admin.
Kulsko. Ja, danes je pa gost, res poseben gost, pa poseben gost. Gre za človeka, ime je Wim Hof, prihaja iz Nizozemske. To je pa človek, ki v bistvu se, da rečem temu, ukvarja z enimi res takimi ekstremnimi zadevami. Mogoče še par stvari sem na hitro omenim. Človek je bos in v katih hlačah šel na Mount Everest, šel je na Mount Kilimanjaro, ne vem, tekel je po severnem polu maraton, se pravi isto, kot to govorim, dejansko bos, ker vstaja video posnetki, kako on teče gor. Mislim, da drži 21 rekordov v Guinnessovi knjigi rekordov, večina povezanih z ledom, mrazom, preplava, mislim, da je skoraj 100 metrov pod ledeno ploščo, se pravi, neverjetni ekstremi, kar je pa najbolj neverjetno pri vsem tem je pa, da človek v bistvu prenaša to znanje na ostale ljudi, se pravi, da pri njem, vsaj on tako verjame in tako razlaga, to gre v bistvu za eno tako zadevo, ki lahko vsak za pravilno tehniko dihanja, za pravilnim načinom dojemanja življenja in energije in vsega tega lahko vsak naredi. Recimo zelo zanimiv in zelo popularni je bil na internetu tudi dokumentarec Vice, ki je na njem naredil, mislim, da je bila nekaj 30-40 minuten special, seveda ga bomo dali v link, dajte si mogoče to pogledati, preden poslušate pogovor z tem človekom. Enostavno so ga oni poimenovali superhuman. Ne vem, če sem da že imel možnost govoriti s človekom, ki bi bil tak ekstremist. Pa smo govorili tudi z ekstremisti že na našem podcastu.
Jaz sem se hotel norca delati, vsakič govori z mano, boom, sem ne, ampak je to nešteje.
Ampak ja, tako da Anže, ti si ga, ko smo začeli pogovarjati o tem, ti si ga mogoče poimenoval, da to je pa tuja verzija strela, ne? Strela, čeprav mislim, da je to nek, ne vem, tako bi rekel temu, nek drug nivo ekstremizma. No?
Tako bom rekel, ta človek ima boljši dokumentarska strela.
Ja. Sigurno je tu dosta enih odprtih vprašanj, dosta je enih stvari, ampak on je vsa ta svoje stvari nekako podprl z znanostjo. Na njem bilo upravljenih ogromno testov, kako je on premagoval te neverjetno nizke temperature v ledu, drži se te rekorde, ko je v bistvu, mislim, da je bil, če se ne motim, uro in 20 v čistem ledu zdržal nekaj takega. Van so obrizgali tudi bakterije, človek enostavno je tako močno ima to samo obvladovanje, da je v bistvu sam premagal virus v svojem telesu brez kakršnekoli zdravil in tako naprej. Se pravi, res en zanimiv lik, da ne bomo mi preveč pametna, dajmo se z njim pogovoriti, da vidimo, kaj se plete v njegovi glavi. Jaz mislim, da je to en tak zanimiv človek, ki, če ne drugega, nam bo povedal zelo zanimivo življenjsko zgodbo in pa kako on dojema življenje in pa vse to, s čimer se ukvarja. Tako da, dajmo to začeti. Anže, jaz imamo še kaj za dodati?
Mislim, da je to.
Pa Drejka poklič, pa vprašaj, če lahko štartamo zadevo.
To sem zgodil.
Okay, so we have Mr. Wim Hof on the line. Mr. Wim Hof, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing actually great. I had to do 2 trainings today. One of Alistair Overeem. He's a big fighter, and he is really improving because of these techniques. And the other one was a football club, and they loved it. So I had a real good time. My wife is coming from Berlin, so I'm very happy.
So I guess you're home in Netherlands then, if you're saying that you're working with Overeem.
Yes. My home is very near to his place.
Okay.
And we meet regularly, and and we train. Yes.
Okay, so we can definitely. I was going to ask you later on about Overeem and about sports in general. For the beginning, can you maybe just tell us and our audience how did you get started in what you do and with the way you train, with the way you look at life, in the way you try to help other people to get through life, to understand the way of your perception. Your methods are in a way extreme. But as we can talk about later, like they were all backed up with science. So, how did you get involved in these things?
Yeah, it all began 40 years ago when I was looking, to the world, and there's so much more than we can see and or understand and think. And I felt that. So I began to look all around in books and disciplines and practices and languages, traditions, but I could not really find what I was looking for until I found out, the cold water is merciless, very direct, but it is also very righteous. And it brought me to the depth of my physiology. And then I began to train with the cold water, and my breathing began to change. It began to be more effective, deeper, and I could do stuff then nobody thought was possible. And they thought I was crazy. And the only thing I'm crazy about is the life. And there is more. So I found it there. I found power within. And it made me being able to do much more than I thought possible. And I discovered so much more within the body and within the mind that I really believe that. And I trained a whole lot of years just by myself. My only guide and teacher, that was the cold. And and then after... Yes.
Sorry, where did you I'm an athlete myself, and to me one of the keys of always being successful is obviously motivation.
Yes.
Where did you find motivation to do such extreme things? I mean, to
Yes.
go into the freezing cold water and to train like that demands obviously a lot of determination, a lot of confidence, a lot of focus, but also the motivation has to be the key.
Yes, the motivation is the key. The cold is like anything in your brain, in your daily brain is saying, no, not going to do that. That's crazy. That's no good. But my feeling within, that's yes, do this. This is powerful. This is painful. Yeah, learn to handle about this and go past the pain. And that is the way you learn to control within a lot deeper than any book has told us. So the motivation was motivation was always there. There is more between heaven and earth. And that is just the motivation was always there. The drive. I was always driven to do this, to find out that what is not written in the books really good. And now, I was very driven.
Mm-hmm.
I always, it's a good question. The motivation, where did it came from?
Yeah.
I can tell you stories about it, but my mother told me when I was born, they never knew there was another twin brother. So I was the second twin brother, and they never expected another one to come. So I was born too late, almost suffocated, in a cold environment. That's where I was born. And my mother, she was praying when she had to get me out. And she was really praying, saying, "Oh God, let this kid live. I will make him a missionary."
Wow.
And,
So basically, it started before you even knew about yourself, like
Exactly.
the survival, the survival instinct.
Exactly.
It's always been there.
Exactly. And that brings about a trigger inside your body, and you don't know why. It is always there. But then you begin to look for in books and disciplines, traditions, languages, etc. But you don't find it. And then I found it when I got into the cold. I directly knew from the inside, this is it.
So when was the first time that you experienced? Did you just experience stuff with cold? Like, what was the first recollection, the first moment you had that you either jumped into cold water or did something with the cold, and you said, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to try to accomplish all the goals, or win all not win, but to get all the records and so on and so on. When did that start? I mean, when was that tipping, that moment that made the switch?
Yes, it was not at all about records or anything. Just wanted to make connection with that feeling inside, and that was when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
17, I was attracted to cold water, and I went in, and directly from the inside, I knew this is it.
Andrzej, did you ever do any we both play basketball at different levels, and I've experienced with ice before. I've done ice baths and things like that. Andrzej, did you ever try anything like it? I mean, do you even?
No. Apart from cooling down my knees, that's pretty much it.
You should do that. You should do it. But we got in our body, the vascular system is 125,000 kilometers of little channels, capillaries, and all that. And if you train them with cold water, then they begin to open and close, and all these little muscles inside, then they will be optimized. They will work better. Then your heartbeat goes down, and the stress hormone gets out of the body, and your oxygen is being transported a lot better through the body. So your pH levels, they go up, and they stay over there. And when they stay over there, you don't become acidic. And in the game, when you play basketball, when you do top performance, I train top sporters. When you do top performance, you should be able to control the pH level, not to go down, but to stay up. And that way, you are able to keep on performing at the highest level of yourself, like in the beginning of the game, but then throughout all the game.
Yeah, because obviously it happens, whether we talk about basketball or some other sports, there's always a moment within a game or within a fight or whatever that your energy level just drops tremendously, and it's hard to recover from that. And I've seen through the videos, through your videos, that, for example, breathing is extremely important, correct? The way you breathe and the way you breathe, it's very important, when it comes to preparing for the cold. But also, I'm guessing that it should be important when it comes to any other sports activity, especially the higher the level is. Correct?
Yes. If you going into the cold, ice cold, is learning how to deal with the top performance of your own body, because the cold is really a force, and the force gets in, is an impact. But to performing at high level and a density of energy takes your energy away because your oxygen gets depleted in the tissue. And once it is depleted, it's very difficult to restore the energy. This is the reserves, then they are depleted. It's gone. And then it's very hard to recover from that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you just go into the game, before you go into the game, you do the breathing exercise. You bring up the pH level. And while you do the game, you're not always at the ball. You can always restore by breathing consciously. Mm-hmm. That is the way that the oxygen doesn't go out of your body, out of the depth in your tissue. It stays okay. So the pH level, they stay up. You got me?
Yeah, I do. And you said that you're also working with a football club right now. So I'm guessing that your methods are not only for individuals, they can be also applied when it comes to team sports. And you know,
team sports, yes, of course. Because if your pH level is up and you are able to keep on with the flow in the body, yes, mm-hmm. then the flow is like electricity from the nervous system, which is the electricity, and it passes on to the other ones. And then it becomes like flow together, team flow. That's synergy. Yeah. And it's a simple thing of the nervous system. But the nervous system is once again related to the oxygen. Because if the oxygen is up and the pH levels are up, then the neurotransmitters of the nervous system are able to run freely and perform very quick in the body. Mm-hmm. Then your energy, it's a radiation, and everybody will feel this. And then you get flow, team flow. Well, and that's what I do with the football teams. I had also PSV, Eindhoven. And since I did my work with that, they became a lot better.
Oh, I believe that. Definitely believe that, because, you know, obviously I know how important it is to feel in top shape when you perform on the court. You know, it's extremely important, because no matter how long you practice, how long you prepare, but when it comes game time, when it comes the performance time, if you're not capable of providing the performance, whatever the method is, you know, you're gonna fail every single time. So I can only imagine how your methods can help the individuals and the teams. And it's good to see that you know, high level athletes are stepping out of the usual way of training and believing that the sport should be, and are allowing people like you to teach them something new about performing. I think that's crucial, and it's good to see that sport is evolving in that kind of way. Can you maybe tell us about some of the most extreme things you've done, just for people to understand how extreme, what kind of extreme things have you done? I mean, you know, obviously, you know, climbing Mount Everest in basically in shorts and shoes, and same with Mount Kilimanjaro and so on and so on. I mean, those are things that you can maybe tell someone, hey, I know this person who's done it, but to actually do it, I mean, that seems something that is just simply impossible. Can you maybe talk to us about some of the records that you've broken and some of the things you've done that make you so special and make people follow you and believe in what you do?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's not that I'm so special. Life is special, and you should get related to life in the depth of yourself. And now we found the keys, and I go with people who have no mountaineering experience, even 76 years old. They do the breathing and the focus, and they climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in 44 hours. 76 years old. Wow. So I did like without training, full marathon, in shorts, beyond the polar circle, and in the cold in mid-January, and no problem. And also like,
no problem.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. And no training before. Mm-hmm. Just the breathing.
No, to me, what's what's incredible to me when it comes to you is that you are not just one individual who has done this. You have other people who you train through this, and they do extreme things also. There's a lot of extreme, quote unquote, extreme people in the world who do quote unquote crazy things, but only few can actually help other people achieve the same. I think that's what separates you from the others. You know,
Yes.
and please continue. Like you mentioned, you know, obviously the highest mountains, the marathon, and please go on. I mean, the things you've done, like swimming under the ice in the ice cold lake. I mean, things like that, incredible. You know.
Yeah, I got about 26 world records.
Wow.
So many disciplines. And you learn that you are able, just by using the focus, the mind. And let me tell you about the mind. But the mind is nothing abstract. They saw, taking blood from me, which they analyzed later in the laboratory, that without moving, I was able to influence in cell activity with 300%. And that is because I learned to go into the cold. And before I go into cold, I program with my mind, my body, to go into that and to make the cell activity grow like 300% without moving. That's one thing. That's focus. And then if you do the breathing, then you make your pH levels in your body better, and then it listens even better inside your body. Your mind then is able to control the energy production in the cell. And then you are able to do so much more. So what did I do? I went into the cold. For going into the cold, you need oxygen, combustion. It needs energy. Okay, I've learned to do that in the cold, under the ice, swimming like 50 to 100 meters in just one breath. But before I was doing the breathing, bringing up the pH levels, or hanging by one finger in midwinter at 1.5 kilometer upstairs, up in the sky between two balloons, or go run marathons, not only in the cold, but also in the heat, or climb Mount Everest in shorts, Kilimanjaro in shorts, and stand for almost 2 hours in the ice and have no drop of temperature inside.
Yeah, how is that even possible that you stay in almost 2 hours in the water of ice and not drop in temperature?
That is what it is. I tell you, there is so much more inside of our body. But we have to learn to breathe deeper and to control the chemistry. And anybody can do this. You just need to do this. And I brought like 18 people in a scientific study within 4 days being able to go into the autonomic nervous system, which was in the science stated it's not possible to influence the autonomic nervous system. And now we have proven, as the first group in the world, to do that. And
yeah, we go back to the same thing. Like I said before, it's not just you. Like I believe it was a test of 12 people that have done that correctly.
Yes.
Right, you and 12 people. Is that the test that you're talking about, where you all got injected with endotoxin, which is, I guess, part of bacteria?
Yes.
And you scientifically proved that you can control your immune system.
Yes.
I mean, not just you, but the whole group of people that you trained.
100%. 100%. Yeah. They all did it. They all did the same. Within a quarter of an hour, they had control over the immune system, and they felt no fever, no headaches, no uncontrolled shivering, nothing. And the control group, who was not instructed, they all fell sick for 3 to 6 hours. So it is evident that we are able to tap into the deeper layers of our physiology. And anybody can do it. Just do it. Just use the breathing and your focus. And you better believe it. It works. Your mind is influencing cell activity. Just do it.
I'm guessing that a lot of pharmaceutical companies would not be happy with what you're doing.
The pharmaceutical companies, those are people. They should do this too. Mm-hmm. Because it's good for them and it's good for their kids too. Yeah. The people need to evolve. there's a lot of problems with healthcare in the world. People should not suffer. We are made by nature to be able, like all the mammals, to stay healthy, happy, and strong. We alienated from nature, and now we got the keys to go back to the deeper physiology, which is ours, of everybody. Mm-hmm. And we just got the simple techniques to do that. We make fun out of this. We made a T-shirt. Breathe. It says freeze first, and then the backside says breathe, motherfucker.
Yeah. I've seen the shirt in the Vice video, which was a very cool video. I think the Vice documentary really exposed you to a lot of people all over the world. I'm just guessing that it kind of helped you to have people recognize what you do and who you are. And
they're going to make even a better video. And with Vice, we're going to make 2 more films. And they're going to shoot very soon. I got lots of television, but Vice was really good. Mm-hmm. But now I work also with Lightworks Creative. They make beautiful illustrative film. They're going to make a full film, cinema film. And that will illustrate that we all are at the brink, at a new age, new dimension of becoming happy, strong, and healthy, everybody. And that is endorsed by non-speculative science. And that it is. We just want to make everybody happy, strong, and healthy. Because nature taught us, gave us all the abilities to do so. I just found the keys because of the call. Mm-hmm. I was looking everywhere, and I know a whole lot of things. I can do a whole lot of things. But the real deep connection was made by going into the cold, change the breathing pattern, and become deeper.
How much there is the meditation part? I mean, do you spend a lot of time meditating, and just when it comes to self healing? I've seen videos where you're sitting in cold, eyes closed, the breathing your breathing techniques. Is that like a daily routine for you, or is that just something that you apply whenever you're trying to do one of those extreme things?
Yeah. Whenever I need to apply, to do a record, I'll be extra in heightened awareness. That's logical. But for the rest, meditation, fuck meditation. Just breathe. Just breathe and be conscious here and now. Then you meditate all day long. Mm-hmm. Just stay connected.
What about nutrition? Because when you talk about top level sports, you can't not talk about nutrition and how important it is. That is there some special nutrition or eating habits that you follow, or that you believe they should be followed, or we come back to the same thing where basically with self-healing and all these things, you can basically control also your the way your digestive system works, the way the nutrition is, and so on and so on.
Yes, we do. People with disease of Crohn, that's in the intestines. That's a rotten disease. We heal them. We heal them just by bringing oxygen inside of the diaphragm, and then the acidic state over there goes away. But now, talking about food, we eat too much.
You mean as a species? As a species?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Because food is everywhere, and we still got this primitive urge inside that wants food. Hey, when there is food, I get it.
Exactly. It's too easy to get. Like, it's in every supermarket, every restaurant, everywhere. Yes. And
I eat once a day. Mm-hmm. Once a day after 6 o'clock in the PM. And I feel great. I got so much fucking energy.
I can see.
It's just the breathing. The breathing brings that about. If you talk about food, then it should be food, what you take in. Mm-hmm. And not the processed food. What they do, that's the wrong chemistry. It's fucking up the chemistry inside. We should not do that. So I don't take so much. After 6 p.m., my digestive systems, they really are on. They are okay. I love food. And I eat, a lot of vegetables and beans and whatever comes in. The most important alkaline food it should be. Real food is good.
Yes.
Real food is what it is. That's the earth. The rest, what the people made of it, is so, they are idiots. I mean, they make quantities. They think it is about the money. No, we have to get food, something from the earth. And this is lost a little.
It is. I mean, it's incredible because all this, like you said, bad food is all around us. I think it's kind of impressive to think that it's more difficult and at the same time more expensive to find real food, unless you basically, do it by yourself in your back garden. But
yes.
It's more difficult to find than any other processed food. And it's really. It's kind of discouraging and kind of worrying, especially for the next generations. The way the food is going, like it's so easily accessible, it's so bad. Like on every corner that there would really have to be some drastic changes have to be made for our next generations to be able to eat healthier than we eat now.
Yes, Bokito. The thing is, we don't need so much. We need to breathe better. Mm-hmm. You know what happens in the cell? In cell level, there are mitochondria. Mitochondria, those are energy factories in the cell. All the cells in our body have them. Mm-hmm. So if we breathe just deeper, better, consciously, then the oxygen will trigger the mitochondria, these energy factories, and that's called aerobic dissimulation. And they will produce more molecules because of it. Mm-hmm. And what is food all about? Making energy. But a digestive process also takes energy. So we should not eat so much food because it's not necessary. If we breathe better, we get a lot more energy. And that's a fact. That's a chemical fact. So we not only become better because the body then is more effectively handling the energy production in the body, you make it work, and that's good for the body. But the body wants to be stimulated. The cell production, the healthy cell wants to be triggered and to do something and to work. That's good. And we got a solution for the food problem in the world.
Yeah. No, definitely, and I agree with you on a lot of these points, and hopefully with also your help, like there's going to be some changes in the way we think about food and
exactly, and your help too. You bring it on. You take it further.
Yeah. I mean,
all in the same thing. We just want to become humans who are living happy, strong, healthy, and that's all.
Exactly, and I think it's very important for that your word gets across. Can you talk to me a little bit like about your son? I was in touch with him when we were setting up this podcast. I mean, he's done a really good job with taking over the PR part of what you do. Obviously, you're a very busy person now with all the seminars and everything. Like, where do you want to take your knowledge? Like, where are you? In what point are you now? Obviously, doing a lot of seminars, a lot of PR stuff. Like, where do you want to take your knowledge, and what direction are you guys trying to take this whole thing?
Yes, my son did a real good thing by making a structure around me. Marketing and just what you said, the website and taking care of the whole office. But my thing is. That's good. That's good. A lot of seminars like this, podcasts, just bring it out. Just go, let it spread. Because it is simple. It's for free. Everybody can do it. It's accessible and it's very effective. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, my direction is to bring it to science. I'm with scientific research right now, like several research programs are on. And we are, I want to take it to non-speculative, more evidence and showing, man, this is so simple, so effective. Anybody can do this, but we have to prove it scientifically. And that's exactly what I do right now with doctors. I work with professors and a whole team, scientific teams. So that's the thing. I go for breakthroughs because everybody should know this. Just breathing and focus. And be in nature. nature has all the forces to stimulate the deeper physiology of ours. We should not be an enemy of the nature and control nature outside. No, then we neglect the nature inside. And it's all there in there, which is going to be awakened if we live more in harmony with nature. So that's it.
Good point. No, and it's obviously extremely important to have it all backed up by science. I think your approach is definitely correct because, obviously we live in a world where there's so much misinformation on the internet and so many fake things going on that it's hard to, unless it's backed up by science and you say, okay, there were tests done, this stands 100%, there's just so much information and misinformation that it can get lost, in the channels of the internet, which is huge, and to have it backed up by science, I think it's extremely important. So you're definitely doing the right thing. What I wanted to ask was when it comes to all these challenges and all these record breaking things, was there a moment that maybe you got scared for your life in one of them? Because there's been so many scary things you've done, and I know in the Vice video you were telling people, or you were telling the journalists, that once you were swimming under ice, you lost vision of where you're going because it was so cold that your retina in your eyes got frozen. I mean, wasn't that that sounds like a pretty scary moment to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is. If we talk about it, then it's impressive. But, the body is able to handle those situations. And but because of our fear and thoughts, we never get into these situations consciously. But I did it. I went and looked for, exceeding the limits. And I only follow my feeling. And my feeling brought me just, where people normally think they are going to die. I did not only not die, I confronted it, and I found more power within, more insights, and I lost the fear of death. Because we think about death. We think about insecurity. But the real thing is, we should fear not to live fully.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good point. That's something to write down, and remember. When you talk about these things, to live fully and not fear death, maybe the closest sport to this would be the fighting sport. And Alistair Overeem, it's a well-known MMA fighter who you work with now. I'm sure there's going to be people listening to this who are going to recognize the name. I mean, he's obviously now a UFC fighter and extremely popular also in Japan, where he's done his career and all over the world. How did you guys meet, and how do you specifically try to help him become a better fighter? Because at the end of the day, all it's going to matter is when he steps into the ring and he performs, whether he performs or not. And how do you approach, his way of training, and what tips you give him? How can he improve with your help?
Yes, he came to me.
I mean, without obviously giving out too many secrets and too many things that maybe he wants to keep to himself.
Yes. Okay. We want to go for the world title, and I'm just making him so good. He was not able to get into this depth I'm bringing him, and that's because my teachings, they don't come from fighting or this or that. They come from going into extreme nature. Then you learn the right way to handle this extreme nature, to be able to receive that and to stay in performance. Well, and what do I use? The simple things of what I'm working with in my method: breathing, focus, and the goal. Mm-hmm. So, and how, I'm not going to tell you right now, but I can tell you that within 2 weeks after we met the first time, he became better 10 to 15%. And then compared to years of being the best of himself, now in 2 weeks, he became better like 10, 15%. And then that creates confidence. And he phoned me and he told me, I'm going to win. And that's what I want. I want people to find the connection deep within themselves again. And then you are going to win because you win over yourself. And then there is no doubt anymore. Your control over your system is far better. Is going like there is no border, there is no limit. You feel good. That's good connection. And therefore I use my method with him specifically. And I know what to do, how to break, because everybody has a different physiology. And the basics everybody can take on by going to our website because it's for free and you can take it on and then you will see the difference. But the thing is, I learned him to tap into his ability. I always tell him, I don't care how good you are. I just want to make you better. And that's it.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. This morning I trained him once again. And he listens because he knows this is no bullshit.
Yeah.
He really knows it from the ring. He was never as peaceful before the last in the last match. He was never as peaceful before going into the ring because of this connection. And then when he came in the ring, he was fully explosive. And he could handle that, the stress amount, he could handle completely. We showed in the hospital to produce, lying in bed, more adrenaline than more adrenaline than somebody in fear going for its first bungee jump. That's control over the hormonal system. And he knows it because he can feel it. And feeling is understanding. And then he becomes like invulnerable because his nervous system in the depth is all charged. And then you have no weak spots anymore. That's what it is.
Well, funny, like you mentioned bungee jumping. Have you done bungee jumping?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. We do it. I do it all the time in the summertime when I do these summer courses or summer travels. I let people face their fears and learn to control it. Because most of the fears are not being controlled because it's the primitive part of the brain and people are not able to access inside of the deeper part of the brain, the brainstem. And I learned them how to get into the brainstem. Thus, they are able to handle the fear and have control from the brainstem over the situation. And then everybody loses his fear because fear is a signal that you have no control. But once you have control, fear goes away.
Yeah, that's definitely the most important thing. Andrzej, I'm guessing you never tried bungee jumping, have you?
No.
No?
I think we're both too tall to try it.
Yeah, I don't know what's the upper limit that you're allowed to try. Me and Andrzej are both around 2 meters and 5 centimeters, so I don't know. I don't know what's the upper limit. Even if I would find the courage and push away the fear.
If you come to my place in Spain, sometimes in the summertime, that's why we do this bungee jumping and going into vertigo. The mountains and climb and do all kinds of stuff to get control in the brainstem and take away the fear. Because you get fully control over all the brains and the body, the brain-body connection. Then fear is just going away. So we do it. I know what I do. It's not about thrill-seeking. It's about learning how to handle the deeper parts of the brain and regain control. Then fear goes away. And it is very good.
And obviously, like conquering fear is one of the the fundamental things when it comes to everything in life. Not just trying to do extreme things, but we talked about sports, but also definitely in business, in anything you try to do, like being not without fear, maybe respecting fear, but being able to push the fear away. It's definitely one of the most important things maybe in life. I mean, at least I imagine now after talking to you that would be one of the things, or conquering fear, I should say.
Yeah,
So conquering fear when it comes to bungee jumping, it also helps you later on if you're a businessman or an athlete or whatever. Like conquering fear definitely gives you opportunity to push further and further and do an extra step, correct?
Yes, most of the time the fear is there because of not only not having control in the brain, it's because the intuition and the instincts, then they don't work. And then you are not able to cope with the situation. We have instincts and intuition. And I've learned how to deal with that by climbing without gear, no ropes, vertical walls. Just with the hands and the feet and go up. And I learned over there that intuition and instinct makes you able to see the rock falling without looking at it. You feel, you go to the right, you do the right moves, you feel things. But we lost this because we are not in nature anymore. So this breathing brings this all back, because then the right blood flow will go to the, consciously, it will go to the brainstem. And then you will have regained full control over the brain again. And then the intuition, which is connected with the brain, and the instinct, which is connected with the brain, is working again. And then you don't need to have fear, because you know that you see even that what you do not see with your eyes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard not to talk about all the how to say, all the ventures, all the extreme things you've done. One that I really wanted to ask you about, and I'll let people Google, and we'll put links in the webpage. They can look all the records up for themselves. But one of them that I would like you to describe it for me, because I wasn't able to find anything on it, was hanging with one finger at an altitude of 2,000 meters.
Yes.
I mean, can you describe how this happened, where this was? I mean, this is so extreme.
What happens is very simple. If we are able to influence muscle tissue and the tendons, muscle tissue and the tendons, they go. If your pH level is right in the body, you learn to handle the energy which is going through the muscles and the tendons a whole lot better. And I learned with the climbing, to climb without gear, do extreme climbing, where people normally use ropes and are not even able to climb because they fall. I climbed without ropes. So I learned to control the neurotransmitters, the electricity through the muscles and tendons just better. And before, I did not know about it, but I felt it. So I trained on my fingers and all that. And then, at a certain point, a person from television, he challenged me. He said, "Can you hang on one finger?" I say, "Yes." And okay, I challenge you to do it on 2,000 meters above the ground. I said, "Okay." So we did it.
How was that? Was there like it was basically on a rock that was 2,000 meters above? Like, how was? I don't understand how exactly was that. Where was that? Like, how was that?
Two balloons. They were connected.
Oh my God!
At the ground, they were connected with a 30 or 40 meter line, rope, and they were connected, and they stayed connected in the air. And I climbed in the middle of the rope, between the two hot air balloons, and then there was a little piece of rope there, and there I hang on one finger.
Wow.
One finger. 23 seconds. 23 and a half seconds. No problem.
Wow, no problem. The worst is the funniest thing is that you say at the end, you say no problem. That's what really...
That was a good feeling, man.
I believe you.
Yeah.
You've obviously done so much already. When it comes to setting the record, when it comes to sharing it with other people, when it comes to helping other people, what's next for you? What do you still want to achieve? Like, what are your eyes set on?
That's science.
Okay, the science part, yeah.
Big breakthroughs showing that people who are very sick are able to heal themselves say after 20 years of pills and everything, and it doesn't work, or just suppresses the symptoms. I make them able to go within their own body and heal themselves. So for that, I go into science. And I'm right now working with scientists. And, they don't need me anymore because I instructed them. So people, they can kill me, the pharmaceutics, whatsoever, but then they have to kill thousands of people because it's out. And that's my goal. My goal is to bring it scientifically endorsed that everybody is able, with a little bit of belief and breathing, to tap into the system far deeper and heal and prevent from disease and prevent from depression and just to feel strong, healthy, and happy. That's the way we are built, and we just got to go back to the inner nature in harmony with the outer nature. And that's all. It's bringing happiness, strength, and health for everybody. That's my goal.
That's awesome.
And that is far higher than any Mount Everest or any personal record. That's awesome. What I want. Actually, it's bringing love to the world. But love, non-sentimental, and love, non-speculative. Just bring back people to their natural ability, which is healthy, strength, and happiness. That's ours.
That's awesome. Talking to you, person can only wish there would be more people like you willing to share their knowledge and things like that. Because I think it almost seems like, in a way, we live in a world that a lot of times people, when they have a knowledge, when they have something, all they want to do is keep it for themselves or, make huge amounts of money off of it, and with you, a person really gets the feeling that you're completely honest about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. And when it comes to sharing knowledge and the passion you have for it and love, like you say, I think that's really worth admiring. I'm only guessing that just by your listening to your last answer, that there's no more world breaking goals that you're trying to achieve. You proved your point at this point. I don't know what else would you like to prove when it comes to breaking world records.
I can do that still very much, and I can. There was a guy from England, and he's doing things for charity. So I told him about the Mount Everest. I said, okay, let's. I would climb Mount Everest in shorts, but make it big for charity, not little bit big. Big time.
Yeah.
Because the world needs help, and for that I can be encouraged to go again. But for the rest, the biggest Mount Everest is really to take away ignorance and suffering. That's far bigger. But for charity, I can do stuff. That's okay. But my personally, I'm not into it so much anymore. I train and I do it all, and I still can break records. But why? No, the science, that's far more important. So
I agree. That's a good. I think you're correctly. Your thinking is on point on this one. Wim, for people who wanna know more about you, who wanna maybe get in touch with you or with your program and what you do, how can they reach out to you? How can they see more things about you? We're obviously gonna give as many information as we can on our webpage, but still, I'm sure they would like to hear it in your words. How can they learn more about your method and basically how can they contact you or your team?
Yes, there is a website. It's called innerfire.nl from the Netherlands now. And there we have all the information, about the science, about testimonials, people who are, have healed from the diseases, or top sporters like Led Hamilton or Alistair Overeem, or there are all kinds of sportsmen. It is good for everybody. There is a free course, so you can get into the free course. And I always say, feeling is understanding. And whenever you feel, you will be hooked. On what? On the depth of yourself, of becoming the true self within, which is healthy, strong, and happy. That's ours. Our chemistry, we can handle our chemistry anytime in the depth. And we found the techniques in nature, and nature is Mother Nature. She helps us, and it's all there now. So innerfire.nl.
Cool. You're obviously also on Twitter. Iceman_Hof is for people who maybe want to follow you day to day. I think you also have an Instagram account, so it's obvious that you're living. I mean, your team is trying to reach out fully, and that's really great to see. Mr. Wim Hof, we're not going to take any more of your time of your busy schedule. I really cannot thank you enough for taking the time and talking to us. We were looking for this conversation for a long time. I think I was in touch with your son for at least 6 months or something like that. So to finally get online and talk to you, this has been awesome. I learned a lot from it myself. I'm definitely going to look into it even more. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, right on, Anjay and Burkina.
Thank you.
I can tell you're good guys, and we got to do this together. Together we are stronger. So let's contribute for humanity and the whole planet, because it's so beautiful.
Awesome. Great words to finish this conversation. Thank you so much, and good luck to you in the future. We'll be following your ventures closely, and anything you need from our end, you have our support.
I know. It's from the heart. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ja, to je bil pogovor z Wim Hofom. Anže, kdaj boš šel plavat pod ledom?
Hotel sem tako fusno, hotel biti cool, preveč naslednji četrtek sam ne bom, ker v lifeu ne bom plaval pod ledom. Tako da...
A veš, tako sem rekel, znotraj tega pogovora. Meni je najbolj zanimivo to, a veš, če bi bil recimo on en ekstremist, pa bi rekel, ne vem, on pač plava pod ledom, pa ne vem, zdrži 2 uri noter v ledeni vodi, ali pa ne vem, visi, koliko je rekel, 23 sekund na višini 2000 metrov med 2 baloni z enim prstom na vrvici. Ok, bi rekel pač, človek je pač, ne vem, kaj nečem, norc, mislim, a veš, pač divjak, a veš, čudak, karkoli že. Ampak on dejansko ljudi trenira skozi to njegovo metodo, da postanejo res, ne vem, ne bom rekel njemu podobni v tem smislu, ampak recimo sploh tisti se tudi v Vice dokumentarcu je tisti del, ko v bistvu njegovim tem, da rečem temu varovancem, ubrizgajo ta endotoksin, kar je nek del bakterije. Se pravi, 12 oziroma 24 ljudem, 12 od teh je njegovih, a veš, učenjakov, oziroma tistih učencev, 12 pa čisto normalnega folka, 12 tistih, ki so normalni, si zbolijo, njegovih 12 pa niti eden in znajo premagati, znajo sami kontrolirati svoj imunski sistem, veš. Te stvari po mene zbegajo, ker dejansko dejansko on nekaj zna pismo, veš, nekaj ima za deliti naprej. In to se mi zdi pa njem toliko zanimiva stvar, da ne gre samo za enega ekstremista, ampak človeka, ki dejansko nekaj daje. In si sam videl, meni to zanimivo, da si želi predvsem za znanje dokazati, da te njegove metode delujejo. To se mi zdi cool zadeva.
Ja, da saj v kontrasmer malo brca.
Ja, a veš, da nisem tisto, ekstremist pa pika, ampak da je. In to je definitivno cool zadeva. Me pa to zanima, recimo, koliko bi se dalo te njegove metode potem prenesti, pa tudi v šport, recimo skupinski, ali tako naprej, z nogometaši za nekaj dela, pa to. Jaz vem, koliko pomembno recimo dihanje oziroma ta občutek tega, da znotraj tekme, pa znotraj pač tega, ko tekmuješ, oziroma daješ samo maksimum, da ne rabe se razmišljati o svoji kondiciji, pa o svoji moči, pa o svoji energiji, pa o strahu, ampak da se enostavno zbereš samo na tisto, kar je pred tabo, se pravi samo zmagati, da lahko stran potisneš. Ta del, recimo športnika, ki bo tu pomagal, bo sigurno veliko profitirali. Ne vem, zanimivo se mi zdi, res. V najblagejši obliki povedano je to zanimiv človek, tako bom rekel.
Ja, milo rečeno.
Ja, cool. Ok, povej, admin.
Podrobnosti so valjda na aparatus.si, smo tudi v iTunesih, tako da kakršnakoli ocena tam ful prav pride, tako da hvala. Lahko nas pa tudi podprete, to naredite tako, da greste na aparatus.si/podpri ali pa na aparatus.si/salca, boh ve, koliko jih je še. Bolj malo sklepam, ker tole malo naprej snemava.
Ne vem, kako ducat samo še.
Ja, gremo reči ducat, pa bo videla, kako imamo prav takrat.
Ja.
Drugač pa valjda podrobnosti so tudi na Twitterju, naš sužen strokovnjak veselo tvita na @podrobnosti_si.
Kaj mi rečeš, da veselo tvita? To se lahko razbere ven iz njegovih tweetov, da on veselo tvita?
Seveda, jaz mislim, da se to čuti. Čuti se. Okay. Mislim, lahko da se čuti, da je to čist fake veselje, ne? ampak se čuti, to si upam reči.
Okay.
Tako da
vsake primer se trudi. No.
To je definitivno se more.
Ja.
Tako piše v pogodbi,
enkrat,
ne se ne ni pogodbe, ker je sužen, sorry.
Ne, jaz bom prenda, jaz sem pa @boki nahbar na Twitterju, pa bom še omenil, no, @Iceman_Hof je Twitter account od gospoda, s katerim smo se pogovarjali, tisti, ki hočete počekirati. Itak bojo linki, vsi noter zraven dani, tudi link, recimo sploh tega, ta Vice dokumentar, se mi zdi, da ga dobro predstavi, kdo on je, pa kaj dela, tako dobiš fajn občutek za to. Mogoče, ne vem, zdaj, kot sem že rekel na začetku podcasta, si je mogoče dobro prvo pogledati tisti dokumentar, pa potem poslušati pogovor, se mi zdi, da bo imelo malo več smisla, no? Tisti, ki imate toliko časa na razpolago.
Cool, ja.
Ja, drugače pa hvala vsem, ki ste poslušali to epizodo, pa vse ostale. Definitivno bomo probali še naprej dobivati zanimive ljudi, pa vam še raz z vami zanimive pogovore. Tako da hvala za poslušanje, pa hvala za vso podporo. No? To bo to.
To je to. Jaz sem na Twitterju afnan.zet.
Si, res je.
To je še ta del admina. Zdaj pa reči,
pa na Instagramu daješ gor gangsta slike za pižamcem. To je treba povedati.
To je vedno res. To je vedno res. Tako da...
Jaz jih lajkam vedno.
To je tudi res. To je v bistvu ful res.
Prvi, skoraj prvi.
Ponovadi. Med prvimi se temu reče. Noč bo, ki reče dio, ne?
To je to, ajde, srečno.
Čau.
Čau.